We've come to the Museum of Kent Life to celebrate the traditional farming methods of the past. This museum is still a working hop farm that uses manpower to grow, pick and store hops, still used in the making of beer. John Reeves Vane worked on a hop farm. Now he and his team show visitors to the museum how hops are grown. To me, it seems like a lost world. OK, what's going to happen here then, John?
Right, now Tim will go up the ladder and he'll push the stilts apart and he'll stand up there and he'll strap himself in round his waist. Then he puts his feet on the blocks there and Dave will go up and strap his feet in. And then he pulls himself up to the wire. He'll have the string hanging from his side, which he ties on this wire at the top to come down to the screw peg in the ground.
Hops were once Kent's most famous crop, and they've been grown here since the 16th century. In 1932, the county had 16,000 acres of hop gardens. They grow up to 20 feet tall and are harvested every September by tugging the hops down from the bines in order to collect the all-important hop flour.
It's built this way so that when the sun comes up, it shines on the hops. And then when they're ready, we pick them and take them down to the host and dry them.
Just all of 25 yards?
That's it, yeah, yes.
Today, hops are mostly picked by machines, but in the 30s, they needed armies of seasonal workers to do the job. We're going to reveal who some of those workers were. Every September, about 100,000 Londoners swap their hard life in the smog-filled city for a few blissful weeks of fresh air and hop picking. 89-year-old Mary Ripper from Bermondsey was one of them. Bermondsey Council encouraged local residents to leave town and go hop picking for the good of their health.
I think they'll children look forward to it, didn't they? Yeah. When it comes September, everybody say, "Have you got your hopping letter yet?" You know.
Did you enjoy it?
Oh yes, definitely.
Mary's about to see a rare film made to promote the benefits of a working holiday. This is Opping, an early health education film made by Bermondsey Council in 1930. What memories will it bring back of the annual pilgrimage that Mary and thousands like her used to make? Mary had a hard life in the London slums, and her first trip to Kent was as a young girl of 16.
Well, there used to be, I think, the London Bridge station, the platform, was crowded with people. The hop pickers going down to the hop field. Well, the first time I ever went there, it was in 1938, actually, the year I met my husband. He said he was going down to his mother, hop picking. I said, OK. He said, come down for the weekend, you know. All right. Also, I put my best coat on and best hat on. And I'd never been to hop picking. So I felt a bit, you know, dressed up for this. Oh, I thought it was good, great. I mean, I had it harder, put it that way, when we came from Bermondsey, right? And Bermondsey had some slums, so therefore it was not too bad, really, hop picking. But it was just a lovely place. It really was. Everybody loved it.
It must have been a remarkable sight. Thousands of Londoners arriving in the midst of this rural idyll in Kent. Here at this museum in Kent, they preserved the huts many of them stayed in, and my guide, John Reeves Vane, is showing me how they lived. And these are supposed to be much better than previous, weren't they? Because
yes.
Previously was...
Well, some of these had a fire inside.
Yeah.
They would bring some of their stuff down and they would leave it in here all year, because when they came down the next year, they had the same hut. They used to come down with tea chests full of pots and pans, and then when they got here, they'd take their pots and pans out and put up, then they'd turn the tea chest up the other way, table.
Did they complain much about the size of the accommodation?
No, it was one big happy family. It was hard times, but it was great because people had more time to talk and socialise. You know, nobody was in a rush. Only when you've got to get out there and earn some money. Then you've got to go like mad to pick the hops.
The East End hop pickers didn't earn much, and the accommodation was basic, but whole families would come back year after year. For many, it was the only holiday they had.
She was born in 1892 and came hop picking, and her parents did before.
Joyce Dutton from the Isle of Sheppey is one of 4 generations of hop pickers.
A long time.
Here she is as a baby. Her fond memories of hop picking stretch back all her life.
My uncle had a transport business, so we all come on the back of a lorry. Can you imagine health and safety nowadays? No children sitting on the tailboard of a lorry. But my husband's aunt, many years ago, she couldn't afford to come down by train or coach or that, so she walked. Took her 3 days. She'd sleep in the hedgerow and carry on walking. She walked there because she loved hopping so much.
It was in your family, wasn't it? They went way back. They were hop
Yes.
picking as far back as you can trace.
Yeah, my grandmother was born in 1892, and she went hop picking. Her parents before did, so that's going back many years.
We're going to show Joyce footage of hop-picking families just like hers, preserved by the East Anglian Film Archive. Will the films bring back her own childhood memories of holidays in Kent?
It was the only holiday that you had. You couldn't afford a holiday then, especially during the war years and that, and it gave them a chance to come down, be with all their families, their brothers and sisters, and to earn, as they said, a bob or two. My mum used to earn the money and buy us our winter clothes and put a bit by for Christmas. Yeah, it is nice to remember. Seeing the film that we saw today, there's things there that you think. And hop fields, when they're fully grown, the hop gardens, they're a beautiful sight.
The film reminds Joyce of the living conditions for families like hers on the hop farms.
Oh, there must have been 1,000 huts on the common, as they called it, when we were there. All rows and rows of them. Well, they were corrugated tin huts with the wooden beams and concrete floors, and there'd be a wooden bed there. Well, there could be a family of 6 in each one. Some people, you know, might have 6 children, and them and the children use the one hut.
Joyce remembers how her mother tried to make their hut a home from home.
When they got down to the huts that we had year after year, my mother would paint everything, and she'd put up curtains and sheets and made it very comfortable for us.
Hop pickers were paid according to how many bushel baskets they picked. Many farms used a token system to pay for food, and sometimes workers went home almost empty-handed. It was hard labour, and even the kids joined in.
You'd fill your bushel baskets and they would all be taken to the end of the alleyway that you worked in. And then the tallyman used to call out for all full uns. That meant you had to have 6 bushel to go in the big basket. And my mother would tip them in, and your life wasn't worth it if you went near that basket and knocked it, because it made the hops sink and she'd have to put more in.
Communal activities were a feature of hop-picking life. Cooking, eating and working were all done together, a way of life that Joyce fondly remembers.
Well, it was a good atmosphere because they would then sit outside round the fires. We'd be cooking apples and potatoes in the fire, and they'd all be sitting there, then someone would start singing. Now that hopping's over and all the money's spent, I wished I'd never gone hopping down again.
There were 650 hop gardens in the 30s, now only 60 remain. Today has given me a glimpse of our rural past before mechanisation took hold.